I'm gonna hit the recording button just in case something else happens. This is a little bit weird because like I was talking with Maria earlier. This is the first podcast in my sister, my brother-in-law's place, so I'm gonna feel a little bit out of place for this podcast. So hopefully y'all can you know adapt with me. That's all I can say.
It's okay. Scuff is enough.
Yep, definitely. But anyway, ladies and gentlemen, boys and girls, and all the fellow pokeNERDS of the world, welcome to the pokeNERDS Incorporated podcast, a Pokemon exclusive podcast just for us pokeNERDS to sit down, relax, and get to know other fellow Pokemon content creators in the Pokemon community. I am your host, your man Spence of the Poke Network. Yeah, it looks like OBS is actually still being a royal pain in the butt.
Would you like to do a quick restart?
It's trying to reconnect. I don't know if restarting will help much.
No worries. Getting through all of the king stuff, and at least just the start of a stream.
Yeah, it's a good thing I hit the record button because there's probably going to be a couple of different VODs for this podcast. OBS just does not want to be my friend today.
Well, it's getting used to the new area.
No, it's like this is literally the first time I've had like OBS issues since coming to the since I came to this place.
Oh. Is it
Uh,
maybe a recent update or?
I don't know. I genuinely don't. I genuinely don't know. Like I don't know if it's like my internet. I don't know if it's like the internet or if it's something OBS. Like I don't know what's happening. But
Hmm.
I just hope that I'm just gonna try to keep a cool, calm, collective head, and we'll try to proceed with this as normal.
Mm-hmm.
But yeah, guys, welcome to the podcast. Hope you guys are having a great Saturday. And ladies and gentlemen, we got a miraculous guest for the podcast today. And yes, completely pun intended. She's a shiny hunter, she's a VTuber, and overall, she is just an overwhelming presence in the Pokemon community. Such a great light at the end of the tunnel for a lot of people. But ladies and gentlemen, please welcome to the pokeNERDS Inc. podcast, mariaculous.
Hi, nice to be here. That's a great warm welcome.
Yeah. No worries on my end. And Maria, thank you so much. Again, thank you so much for taking the time out of your day to come and sit down with me and let me pick your brain on what makes you the Poke nerd that you are, and also for being or should I say, we're being okay with all the tech issues going on right now.
Of course.
Thank God I started recording. Thank God I started recording. But yeah. So I'm having trouble getting into the groove of things. What am I doing?
You're good. You're flustered, and it takes a while to recover, but you're doing great.
We good? Are we good, chat? Are we back in action or whatnot? Please let me know. If not, I'll see what I can do. But Maria, are you ready for the interview?
More than ready.
Okay. So the first thing we normally do here is just we give ourselves a little bit of basic intro to ourselves and basically basically it's just introduce yourself again, explain the types of content you produce, and just a retrospective of your Twitch journey, like where you started, how you got into it, where you are now. Just you have the floor, Maria. Just let us know about you.
Sure. I normally am just a shiny hunter on Twitch who does a lot of soft resets nowadays because I prefer being able to just press buttons and hope that something becomes different. Um, I do play other games on the side, but usually offline with my friends, just so that I don't burn myself out with just one game. And overall, my Twitch journey started roughly about it's gonna be 5 years in December, so like 4 years, some months now. Um, since then, been making lots of friends along the way and joining a lot of cool opportunities and hoping to continue that opportunity as time goes on.
So, like, what made you decide to hit that go live button for the first time? Like, where did that begin?
I guess like it was more of so that I had lots of people that I watched to play Pokemon on Twitch, and it was just a fun little thing to do on the side while I was doing my graduate school, and just to keep me a bit busy since a lot of I think a lot of people's journey in Twitch started when COVID happened, and it was something to keep their minds off of it. So that's kind of similar to what I did. Um, a lot of it was just being able to connect with other people since we were stuck at home for many, many months. And in general, it was just meant to be a fun little thing to make more friends because it's crazy enough, as an adult, it's a little harder to find more people that you would like to hang out with, even if it's just either virtual or like digitally. Physical hangouts, of course, back then was incredibly difficult. So, yeah, in general, it's more of just being able to connect with others through online means. So, streaming was just my major one.
I can fully understand that. I mean, I've met some of the greatest people in my life through Twitch, and like I can't imagine my life without those people anymore. So it's like it's amazing how just being an online presence can lead to something so amazing, you know?
Yes, this is definitely the first time that I've made friends online and actually met up with those friends and traveled to a different country just to meet with those friends. So it's definitely opened a lot of doors and gave me a lot of opportunities to travel as well.
And actually, there's something I actually wanted to ask you before I go on to me. I've actually known of you for a long time, and you weren't originally a VTuber. So, what made you decide to go from going from camera to VTuber? If you don't mind me asking.
Oh, it was just lazy to get up and get dressed and put on makeup and everything to go on stream and fix my background. This one is just really easy. I can press a button and I am ready.
Well, at least you're blunt and honest about it. That's pretty much all I could ask for. As a guy, I actually like. I've always wondered what it would be like if I decided to jump to VTubing and I don't have to worry about what I'm wearing or I could actually stream without these because these are just pure gimmick or something like that. But like I don't know. I'm just so used to the camera. It's like what am I to do now?
hmm It was also mainly because the space that I had before, I'd had to have like a backdrop where because like I said, I shared a space with my husband, and nowadays I do have my own extra space to just be streaming in. So it's fine, but I like the idea of not having to always worry about what's behind me, making sure that nothing important is going to show that could dox me or anything, but everything else is just really easy to just hide and click because I just have a little model that I can just put up.
And again, being blunt and honest. That's all I can ask for. Sorry, I gotta need to revisit myself. Let's see, is there anything else I wanted to ask you beforehand? I don't think so. But hey, if you're here from Maria's side of the world who don't know who I am, allow me to introduce myself again. My name is Spence, and this is the Poke Network. I am a variety Pokemon streamer where I specialize in shiny hunting and Nuzlocks, and of course, I do this podcast. So I pretty much do anything Pokemon related. And what got me into creation was actually kind of like same thing with Maria. It's like watching all these people do types of creation and like wanting to jump into the water and see if I can swim. Like I always watched YouTubers like MJ TV and Patters, Game Boy Luke, stuff like that. Always do these amazing things. Also like Shady Penguin, and like man, I really want to do this too and share my experiences with people, but I don't know where to begin. So I actually emailed MJ TV, and to my surprise, he actually responded and he gave me a few pointers. And I didn't actually start streaming until when COVID happened because I didn't have the finances to invest in my startup PC. So I took the little bit of money that the government gave us and just invested it in my startup PC, which was a rinky-dink little one monitor setup, no mic, piece of crap camera. You'll get a piece of my first ever setup later in the show, but yeah. And let's just say that for the first 6 months of my journey, I even then I still didn't know what the hell I was doing. I didn't know what I was doing because I came into Twitch as a complete dark. I didn't know anybody on Twitch, whether it was as a community member or I knew a streamer. Like I didn't know anyone. So that was probably also my biggest one of my heels early on because I didn't really know anybody. So it wasn't until my friend Power Punch Plays raided me for the first time is when I actually started to, understand the true fundamentals of Twitch. And then after I finally got affiliated in January of 2021, it all just snowballed from there. I started doing more. Randomizers. I started shiny hunting bigger targets. I started doing world record attempts. Like you name it, I've done it. In this, the only thing, actually, no, I take that back. I haven't done any hardcore Nuzlocks yet, so. But yeah, like I've just been just trying to share my love and joy of Pokemon with everybody in the world, and just taking it day by day and seeing how far it gets me.
That's great. I know a lot of different content creators that pretty much dabble in everything Pokemon. So I've done a lot of shiny hunting. I've done Nuzlocke before, but not pretty common. If I do shiny badge quests, they're usually off stream as well. And I've done other things like speed runs before, and I do hope to try to do speed runs on. I think it was Let's Go Pikachu because I know that one. I have Pulse Effect who's willing to help me learn how to Nuzlocke, not Nuzlocke, speedrun that whole game, and I'm hoping to get those done when I have at least a more reliable Switch, because my current Switch is on its last legs. So hopefully by the time the Switch 2 comes and I maybe transfer over or try Let's Go Pikachu there, I can try and make an attempt on Let's Go Pikachu. So looking forward to do more speed runs in the future.
That's actually something that I haven't done myself, a speed run. There's a few other things I haven't done. I've done speed running, I haven't done soul links. I want to try and do a soul link this year, but I have to contact my partner that I was going to do it with last year. But yeah, like, again, there's just so much you can do with Pokemon, and yet we barely scratched the surface.
And there's going to be so much more to do soon.
Yeah, we'll definitely talk about that later. But so answer me this. Obviously the Maria comes from your name, but where did the term mariaculous come from? Is it where I think it comes from, or is it there a different meaning?
I mean, a lot of people get it off the bat. One of my favorite shows growing up was the Miraculous Ladybug shows. So every time someone asks, "Do you watch Miraculous Ladybug?" the big answer I always like to give because like even has reference is "Yep, spot on."
Yeah. I think I don't even remember when Miraculous started airing. I was probably a teenager when it started airing. I think I don't know, but yeah, I didn't like I I will say that I will say that I have watched a little bit of Miraculous, um, but it's actually a really good show, to be brutally honest. It's actually a really good show.
It is when you get over a lot of the embarrassing moments that the main character goes through because they're so in love with the male lead. So that's one of my biggest gripes about the series, that it's so painful to watch her be shy, but like it's so nice to like see them grow out of that character, especially like in these new arcs that they're in. But I haven't caught up a lot, so I'm hoping to get caught up in this new season soon. But I have been watching all of the movies, and I know that there was a movie on Netflix for it. I think like they just rebooted the whole like original series, and it was so fun to watch because I think that was the movie that I was watching on my way to Canada to compete in a regionals there a few years back, and it was really great to have, or like it was really great to just watch and be able to like have more interest, not just like my Pokemon stuff.
It all comes full circle. All right, so I think you know this because I met you before I changed handles. The Poké Network isn't my original channel name.
You'd have to refresh a lot of my memory again, Morning Fog.
Yeah, it's all good. So Poké Network has been my main staple name because when I decided to become a content creator, I wanted Poké to be a part of my username so people could identify me as a Pokemon related guy. So there's the Poké in my name. Network comes from my college days because when I was in college, I went for business administration, and I did multiple courses where there would be like at least one or two group projects before the semester came to an end. So it's like, oh man, like I'm having I have to network so much with these people. Poké Network. That fits. Poké Network. So when I go to submit it into Twitch, obviously it's taken by some random bot accounts. So I'm like, crap, what am I gonna do now? So at the time, I didn't think the was gonna work because I felt it was just too generic. So I put an S in the front of it because S is just my first initial because my real legal name is Spencer, so it's just my first initial. My initial name was S Poké Network.
Ah. Okay, yes, memory is now coming back for that.
Yeah, so obviously there's a little bit of problem with this because on the professional um on the socials there's a hyphen in my name, but on Twitch you can't use hyphens, so I put the S and P right next to each other because I didn't like using an underscore. So you can imagine how many people mispronounce my name over the years.
Mhm, mhm, mhm. Mhm, mhm.
Oh God, like there were so many mispronunciations of my name. It was so insane. Like I was called Spoke at least at least like with uh jeez, there's so many mispronunciations. Like I've actually been called Spoken before.
I can see that.
uh like oh god, like it was just so bad. Like I was just so over it that at that point I'm like I'm done. So at the beginning of 2023 I dropped the S, put in the V, so it's been a massive positive professional change ever since then, and I haven't gone back.
Glad it worked out.
You and me both, because I didn't know what I was gonna do. I wanted to be the Poké Network, but I couldn't. But like, the only way the only way I could be Poké Network, just Poké Network, is if I became partner and I say, hey Twitch, this random unused account has the name, let me have it.
Mhm, mhm, mhm.
uh, but yeah, we'll see if I ever get to that point. But all right, let's actually get down to brass tacks and let's see what makes you the Poké nerd that you are. So, Maria, out of all the Pokemon in the world, which one would you say is your favorite?
Cry. I love the little bean that he is, there's actually an event going around right now in Pokemon Sleep where you can access Darkrai, so I have just been waiting to unlock it. And in general, it's my favorite Pokemon because a lot of the times, like, it's portrayed as like the bad guy in like all of these episodes in the series and the movies. But when you actually get to the end of the episode, the show, the movie, it's more of one, either Darkrai is just protecting itself or protecting something else, or just can't even control its power. That's how Pokemon Sleep is portraying it. That Darkrai's powers went out of control and Cresselia is trying to help bring it down.
Yeah, I can totally relate with that because before my current favorite Pokemon took over as my favorite, Darkrai was my favorite for about 10 years, and mainly because of the Rise of Darkrai movie.
Mhm. Arashi is one of my favorite like musical scores from the Pokemon series, and it was the music that I had played for my husband and I's wedding, so it has like really special places in my heart.
I can imagine. I love Aracion too. It's such a good soundtrack. Just the music in that movie altogether was just really good. It was just like wow. Hmm. But if it wasn't for Obstagoon existing, Darkrai would still be my favorite, so I would agree with you. But today, as of right now, Obstagoon is my favorite Pokemon of all time because of design wise. It's so menacing, it's so cool. I love black and white color schemes, and on top of that, Obstagoon is just an absolute menace in Sword and Shield when you set it up properly. Like if
Mhm.
you're playing Shield, Obstagoon is like one of the main Pokemon you can go to because it can just it can wipe off Alistair off the map, and it can clear away with many other Pokemon. And plus, when you give it a Flame Orb with a Gut Set, it's an abomination. It's so good, and and the reason it became my favorite overall is because when I decided to don a Pokemon mascot, I didn't want to use Darkrai at the time because I thought like I felt like I would be copying Patters because he was using Darkrai as like a co-mascot. So I'm like, oh man, what am I gonna do? So I went with Darkrai. I went with Obsidian because no one was using it. So it just bing bam boom, and here we are. And I've even gone to the point where I'm getting the whole line tattooed on my arm.
Oh, that's so cool.
Yeah, it's almost done too. I got my last session for it in May, so hopefully I'll be able to finish up that.
Nice. Its color scheme really is so iconic, and it's definitely one of those Pokemons that has like such a nice contrasted shiny as well.
Uh, yeah, it's bad. It's terrible that Linoon has so many memes around it because it's called Colgate, but
Yep.
but
Truly.
yeah, but Obstagoon is just so menacing with the red, white, and blue. It's so awesome. But as a shiny hunter, what would you say is your favorite shiny of all time?
Ooh, I think it really depends on when you ask me that, because a lot of the times my favorite shinies are based off like some of my hunts. So I would say the most recent shiny that is like in my memory because again it's really recent was okay, so if I go through the list of things that I've hunted recently, I think the most memory that I have right now is at the end of the year of like literally last year, 2024, I was trying to get my 700 shiny since I'm doing my national shiny living dex, and I finally reached the point where I could do soft resets in Let's Go for Mewtwo. So I was like just basically racing against time to see if I can get a shiny by the end of like the year essentially, and it was the last day, the last few hours for me. So like 6 hours before the time would reset. And I did end up getting the shiny Mewtwo on like while my friend was streaming, and the entire time, if you've never really done a shiny hunt soft reset for legendaries in Let's Go, you'd have to knock out the Pokemon first before being able to capture it, and you have a time limit.
Uh-huh.
So I had a 2-minute time limit to knock out the Mewtwo, and lo and behold, I almost didn't get to knock it out. It almost knocked me out. So I totally forgot that Mewtwo has recover. So it was just me fighting against Mewtwo constantly recovering, and with like I think 20 seconds left on the timer before it knocked me out or it ran away, I managed to land a freeze on it and a crit. So the freeze stopped it from recovering, and the crit just gave me enough time to knock it out completely.
That's amazing. That is an amazing story. I have yet to. I've done those Alolan trade hunts in Let's Go for Alolan Vulpix, but I've not. I haven't done a legendary reset in Let's Go yet.
I love doing a lot of those because the 1365 odds really are my favorite if you have Shiny Charm and everything. They feel really like it's such a sweet spot. They feel long enough and fast enough to not get like burnt out or bored.
Yeah. But yeah, the Let's Go the trade hunts were actually full odds. So I was at the full 4096 odds, and I was literally almost like 50 below odds getting that Alolan Vulpix. It was crazy. But if you had to pick three of your top favorite shinies, what would they be?
Mm, okay, let me run down a few of them that I've done in the past and just in general. So Darkrai also is again one of my favorite Pokemons, but I also do really like its shiny purple, pinks, and like the greenish on its eyes really like contrast well, and I love contrasting colors. I think Hisuian Zorua also is one of my favorites based on like because blue and pinks are my favorite colors, so swapping from its red to blue really is just like a nice um appeal to me. And if I had to make a third one, most recently, I think Jangmo-o also would be one of my tops just because I really do love the yellow and pink pattern that it has when it's shiny, and it's so noticeably bright. It's it's such a fun hunt to do as well, especially in Scarlet and Violet when you have the opportunity to do like jumbos and teensy hunts because I love doing size hunts on them. So and I still have yet to get my jumbo Jangmo-o, but at some point I probably will get back into that hunt.
Yeah, I need to dive back into my shaman hunt, but I'm taken over by my current shiny hunting project of shiny hunting the least favorite Pokemon of all my fellow PokeNERDS Inc. guests. So it's like, what am I to do? What am I to do? Just continue the shiny hunt, I guess. But yeah, my answer is pretty biased because I am a huge fan of black and black and red and other things. And one shiny that has a good amount of those both is shiny Greninja.
Ooh. Yeah,
Yeah,
that's my husband's favorite one as well. Shiny Greninja and Lucario are his two top ones.
yeah. For me, it's like if I had to pick my top three, they'd be Greninja, Rayquaza, and Haxorus. And yes, I know that I'm being
Ooh.
biased because they're black shinies, but come on, look at me. Do I look like I like black, or do I not look like I like black? But
He
yeah,
must have gone. I think you might have been excited then when Scarlet and Violet had that boosted Shiny Odd Fracture event.
yeah, I got a bunch of those, and like I actually want to I want to do a stellar reset hunt where I'd go after the Haxorus in like the nature preserve area in the biome, but I know that it would be a major gamble because you're never guaranteed a Haxorus when you go there, so I can't in full faith do that because I know I'd probably phase a lot or not even phase at all, and it'd take a million years. But I have a lot more better history with Shiny Greninja because it was my very first Was it my first one? Yeah, it was my first one of the Gen 6 stars that I finally hunted in Gen 9. And, oh god. When I found that, when I did an egg hunt for it, and when I found the shiny Froakie, I literally choked on water.
It's a
uh,
water type too. I do know
yeah.
for stellar hunts though, I there was something about it you have to be careful about. I really don't remember what it was because I know Blue Vector did a lot of those and he talked to me about it because I said that I wanted to do some soft resets for some of the terrestrialized, I think it was called Pokemon that are static. I know they're one, I don't think they're affected by charm, but I have to double check that. And then two, something about stellar Pokemon in particular has a bit of a thing to it, but I really can't remember from the top of my head what he was saying about it. So you might have to do a little bit of research on soft resetting for terrestrialized or stellar Pokemon.
Yeah, it's like it's like the depending on where you are, the stellar Pokemon is like in a randomized pool of these selected Pokemon. So you're never
Mhm,
guaranteed to find the same Pokemon if you reset like 5 times. You're not guaranteed to see the same Pokemon 5 times.
mhm, mhm, mhm.
That's pretty much. I think that's pretty much what it is. If it's not, somebody can correct me. But what would you say is your favorite type of Pokemon? What's your favorite Pokemon type?
Growing up, it's always been water type, and then it swapped to ice, and then fairy, and then I think overall, in general, I think it's back to water type Pokemon. So I've gone through well, I guess a lot of them are just like blue and pinks again, but in general, water type has always been my go-to. I think it also is affected by the fact that I've grown up around islands all my life, that like anything water-wise, I prefer. I love being able to be near the oceans and everything. And I don't know. I think I like water because it reminds me about being like temperature wise a lot cooler.
I can feel that. I grew up in Michigan, so I know what it's like to be surrounded by water. But yeah, I do love water types. I mean, I did a Nuzlocke challenge where I can only use dark and water types. So most of my team was water type, but the solid mons on my team were dark type, which that one is actually my favorite type. But I'll talk about that in a moment. But yeah, it also goes to show like how real world circumstances like determine your favorite type in the Pokemon games. You know.
hmm Dark type in general are also like really nice. And again, one of the biggest reasons why I feel like Darkrai is so misunderstood that even in the Japanese language, even though like they could use something else for dark, they use the word evil as an evil type and thought that is so sad to call them evil when they're not all evil.
I say that every single time. Finally, somebody else says it. Finally. Ugh. Yeah, but like, dark types are my favorite because, like I said, I can relate to them on being misunderstood because I'm actually on the autism spectrum, so I can feel at home with them being misunderstood. But on top of that, I've had a pretty dark past, and I've had some pretty traumatic stuff happen to me in my life, so I tend not to, well, I try not to think about that type of stuff, but that darkness is just always kind of lenient there, you know? So I can relate with dark types in a way. And plus, I've pretty much used dark types on my team pretty much ever since Gen 5, and I've just loved their designs, loved their backstories, and on top of that, like, my top 5 favorite Pokemon of all time are dark types. Obstagoon, Greninja, Darkrai, Hydreigon, Umbreon, just all powerful, solid Pokemon, and like, yeah, and like you were saying, dark types are actually pretty good Pokemon. I mean, if you've watched the anime, you'll know that there's an episode in the Johto series where a Houndoom like keeps care of Misty's Togepi, and it's just really heartwarming.
Hmm. I think the only dark type Pokemon that I truly feel that you could say, "Yep, that's an evil Pokemon." I just remember the most was Malamar, so it doesn't help the dark type reputation at all.
Yeah, I can agree on that, but there's also a couple of dark types that I feel like don't deserve the mantle, and also can't carry the mantle. of being dark Pokemon, so we'll talk about that later. But in terms of your favorite Pokemon game, which one would you say is your favorite and why? And this can also include the main series and spin-off games. If you have one that's a spin-off and one that's a main series, go ahead and give me both. But wait a moment because my OBS is deciding to be a royal pain in the butt.
Yeah, no worries. Gives me time to think of an answer. Because I have some, but it's nice to give a bit of thought to it.
I do apologize for the tech issues, everybody. I don't know why OBS is being a royal pain in the butt. All right, we're back now. So like in terms of the main series, what would you say is your favorite Pokemon game?
Main series wise, I definitely do have I think the reason why it's my favorite is because like I have more memories of it right now. Would be either Diamond and Pearl because it's considered my first series, and then Platinum that I introduced me into Pokemon. And more so, Sword and Shield became one of my favorites because it's what got, well, kind of what got me into streaming. It was more of what got me to Shiny Hunt stream. Um, I've actually, if I were to also say like what's my favorite game to Shiny Hunt in, I would say it was probably Ultra Sun and Moon, just because there's so many different ways that you can try to shiny hunt in that game, and the odds are just so ridiculously good. Like a friend introduced me into SOS hunting that I've never done before. So like finding out that SOS is such a cracked way to shiny hunt, I've been doing those. Ultra wormholes to get legendaries, easily get legendaries too. It's really a great series, and if I were to say the spin-off games, my ultimate favorites are definitely the Pokemon Ranger series. Shadow of Almia is definitely the number one that I love the most. Again, because also biased that Darkrai is in there.
Yes.
So I have so many different opinions on different games based also on like what I do or like what I'm doing in them. So if it's shiny hunting, Ultra Sun and Moon are my best series. If it's nostalgia, um, Diamond and Pearl because it was my first game that I actually beat and got the shiny charm in. And overall, because it has some significance with me streaming Sword and Shield.
Sword and Shield has a mainstay in my heart because it's the first game that I started streaming. Sun and Moon has a mainstay in my heart because that's the game where I first started shiny hunting. Like I played the OG Sun and Moon and then the Ultra Sun, Ultra Moon games, but I still SOS hunted the hell out of those games. Whew. But in terms of my overall favorite, I have to say I give the mantle to Black 2 and White 2, hands down, because they have such a well written story. They have the best written storyline of any main series Pokemon game, in my opinion. Both the Gen 5 games do, but the reason why Black 2 and White 2 takes the mantle for me is because Hugh. Hugh, in my opinion, is the best rival in the history of Pokemon games. For one big reason, he does not give a rat's ass about um, glory. He doesn't care about it at all. He is only doing this to rescue his sister's Purloin, which is a dark type. And every time he battles you, he's not trying to, you know, get the better of you or get one up on you. He's trying to test your strength to see if you're strong enough for his cause. And it's like, oh man, you're so relatable. I love him. The only person that comes close to him, in my opinion, is Gladian, but that's
Mm-hmm.
just a whole ballpark I don't want to get into right now.
Yeah. I
But
Black 2, White 2 is definitely the series that I hope to play at some time in the future because I've only played Black and White for a short amount of time. And Gladion definitely is one of my favorite rivals, mainly because he he's the type of person who doesn't show that he cares for his sibling and reminds me the most about my brother, which is why again Sun and like Ultra Sun, Ultra Moon, Sun and Moon are one of my favorite series because they have like a sibling pair together that just reminds me of me and my brother.
yeah, fair enough. Uh, I was gonna say something, but I don't think I should. But um, uh, in terms of the spin-off games, I do gotta give mantle to Shadows of Almia because of it's my first Ranger game, and it's again Darkrai, but for me it's XD Gale of Darkness. First time I ever played it was live on stream, and I played it for the first time live on stream, and it was just a really, 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 really fun game. And it was also a time when I just hit 1,000 followers, and my family, who I'm currently living with at the moment, actually came and sat with me and played with me for a little while. So it holds a very special memory in my heart. All right, so with those little talking points out of the way, why don't we see if there's see if there's any darkness in your heart.
Oh,
So
okay.
let's figure out what your least favorites of what we just discussed are. So what would you say is your least favorite Pokemon of all time?
mm, Honestly, I choose not to think too much about Pokemon I don't like. So again, like I just brought up that I don't really like Malamar. I don't like its I don't like its appearance. I don't like it the way that it's portrayed in the anime. And I dislike how you evolve Inkay to get a Malamar.
I was wondering when somebody was gonna mention a Pokemon that had a really stupid evolution mechanic because I've always found Malamar's evolution method so stupid, and I like Malamar for its versatility, with superpower contrary, but what the hell? Why was it giving it the bitter end of the stick in the anime? What the crap?
Mm. I remember seeing a beam of being like, how in the world did someone figure out how to evolve this thing without a guide? Like, who just happened to have their Inkay level up to a certain level, have their DS upside down somehow for whatever reason to actually get it to evolve? Like, I don't think there was any possible way that you could have naturally known how to evolve an Inkay.
I don't think so either. Like, like people think that the stupidest evolutionary method is probably Runerigus' evolutionary method, but I still gotta say Malamar, come on, why? It's so stupid to have you turn your system upside down. How does the game know that you're holding your system upside down to begin with?
Mhm. I definitely think Runerigus is one of the annoying ones. So is Surfetch'd and those Pokemon that require you to um have certain crits, be at a certain HP, or um do a certain amount of moves in the same battle. So those kind of conditions really are annoying because like anything can go wrong and you'd have to restart from the start. So like the simple ones like wait until it rains for you to evolve, wait until it's night, and have full friendship. They feel like a walk in the park once you finish all of those.
Yeah, I feel that. Ugh. But again, something we have in common. Our least favorite Pokemon are dark types. Because I said there was a dark Pokemon that I believe doesn't deserve to be a dark type, but is, and I absolutely hate it. A Alolan Persian.
Oh, yep, that one. I just like the way that its face looks like it's been stung by a wasp.
That's a first. We've never discussed wasp stinging before, but it's
Oh.
more than it's more than just the face for me. It's more than just that face. For me, it's the biggest slap in the face of all dark type Pokemon because before Piers and Marnie were introduced and we finally got a dark type gym leader, the closest thing we had was Kahuna, the Ula Ula Island Kahuna, and
Mhm.
of course his ace had to be that stupid cat. I know that Alola had a very, 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 very select number of dark types in him, but why did his ace have to be that stupid cat? I get that the police had a thing with with Alolan meows, but why does his ace have to be that stupid cat? He could have used an Alolan muck. He could have used an Alolan muck, but no, he had to use that smirky ass, smart ass cat. Oh god, I hate it so much. I hate it so much. I don't there's certain things in my life that I think I drive my hatred towards, so it doesn't, so I don't hate the other things in my life. Alolan Persian's one of those things.
Yeah, Alolan
I don't.
Persian is one of the first Pokemon that in the Dynamax adventures that I remember getting a shiny being like, why this one? Anything else could have shined and then this is what I get. So I know it's such a privilege to get shinies, but of course it had to be the one that I absolutely refused to get. So lucky me, I got to take home a shiny Alolan Persian in that Dynamax adventure I did.
Yeah, that's definitely something. And on top of that, someone that I'd rather not name made me shiny hunt that stupid thing. But joke was on him. 192 eggs, and I found it. Ugh, God, I hate Alolan Persian.
Alolan
All right,
Meowth actually doesn't even look that bad and it looks fine. It's just when it evolves into Persian is when I have issues.
yeah, Alolan Meowth is one thing, but Alolan Persian, good God, help it. Ugh. So, what about a least favorite shiny Pokemon?
I think there's a lot. It's probably any Pokemon that has absolutely no visible difference. I think like the
Uh,
most
yeah,
recent I can think of. Mm,
yeah, is there a shiny that's caused you so much like grief you've had to give it hate or anything like that?
I don't know about hate, but more of just disappointment that it was such a pain to only get a non-noticeable or just such a teensy bit of a difference. Um, I dislike the fact that Goldengo's shiny is just a sliver of green in between its like I guess like its golden tube, whatever it is, but I
I thought
hated
it
the
was
fact
silver.
I don't recall at this point because like I said, anything that I don't really like, I refuse to give it like any space in my memory. So if anything, it's just blocked off. But
I
I do
gotcha.
remember that I for sure Gimme Ghoul is a lot brighter in color for it to be shiny, but again, not as big of a noticeable difference. And Goldengo, I only remember its creases being the only color difference. Nothing else makes a color difference on it. When instead of, I guess I see why they wanted to keep it gold because Goldengo, but they could have given it anything else to make it at least more noticeably shiny. But no, the Pokemon that's meant to be shiny gold does not have any other ability to be different colored, I guess.
Yeah, a lot of people say that they could have given us the Silver Surfer, but unfortunately, they gave us nothing. Hmm. Yeah, mine's actually in a similar boat of a Gen 9 non-noticeable shiny. Um and it's also another big letdown because they were some of the coolest Pokemon that got introduced in Gen 9, yet they had such crap shinies. Armorers and Ceruledge.
Hmm.
Yeah, the eye change is pointless because literally this is all it is. Just boom. This is shiny me, everybody. Hello.
Well,
This is
they
the normal
also
me.
had such a easy fix with that too. They do these with a lot of Pokemon where they could have just color swapped them. Just give Armarouge Cerulege's color, give Cerulege Armarouge's color. It would have been really simple, but I don't know where the design company decided, okay, just blue eyes. That's cool enough.
Exactly. Every single podcast I say that. Every single one. I've interviewed I've interviewed 38 different people and every single time I have said that to every single one of them. Just swap the color schemes. That's all they had to do. All they had to do.
Well, I guess like they really should just hire outside people to make some designs for their shinies at this point. We have ideas.
Yeah, like I've said this. Whoever designed the shinies of Gen 9 honestly doesn't deserve to work at the company anymore because most of the shinies in Gen 9 were not even good. Well, we hooked them anyway.
Mm-hmm. They live in my national shiny living decks nonetheless.
I have yet to attempt to start one of those. Maybe one day I'll finally bite the bullet and start one, but for now I'm just the casual shiny hunter.
Well, it helps that in a lot of the games that they give you opportunities to get a lot of shinies. So since it was just taking up a lot of space in my Pokemon home, I figured I'd organize them national deck style, and it just ended up that okay, I guess it's enough for me to start making a national shiny living dex. So I jumped from had I think like around 400 shinies at the start of like actual shiny hunting, and then like over my course of like years shiny hunting here on Twitch, I'm on I think 750 something right now. By the end of the year, I'm hoping to reach at least maybe 800, 850. The big cool goal that I really want is 900, but it really will just depend on what PLZA gives me, since I know that PLZA is going to be the major contributor to how much shinies I can get before the year ends.
Yeah, we'll see. Like, there's actually like we'll talk more about PLZA later, but really interesting to see how we're gonna shiny hunt in those games. But
Mhm.
um, off the topic of that, what would you say out of all the Pokemon types, which type do you not like the most?
I think normal type has the unfortunate thing that nothing it's super effective against nothing, but things are super effective against it. So I don't see the appeal of them. It can't even damage ghost type Pokemon. It's weak to fighting. It does not really do much move wise. So normal type Pokemon or normal typing in general makes me think that why.
Yeah, I mean, it saddens me that Obstagoon is still normal type because of how it originated from the Hoennian Linoon line, so it gave Obstagoon that quad weakness to fighting that just really detriments it.
Mhm.
But as a person that's used normal types, I can say that it's more so of a versatility than it is like an actual like super heavyweight powerhouse thing. Like Snorlax is like probably the big example I can bring up because it's very versatile and it's bulky, but but I can definitely see your point. Like normal types really should like bring more to the table, but unfortunately they don't.
Mhm, mhm. I do have like lots of Pokemon that I do like that are normal type because in general, they tend to be the cute ones too. So I mean, I give them props for those, but in it still does not help. I mean, they have to give them dual typings for you to actually use a lot of them.
Yeah, like I said, Obstagoon's an example, but
Mhm, mhm.
yeah, some Pokemon though also honestly don't even need to be normal type to begin with. They're just like making them normal types to fill out the type chart, you know.
Mhm. I don't even recall if there's a legendary or mythical Pokemon that has a normal typing either.
I don't think so. Oh wait, Arceus.
Oh, yeah, I guess, like, if you like, at its core, it is normal until you give it a plate.
Yeah. Poor Arceus.
Mhm, mhm.
Hmm. For me, it's fairy types.
Mm.
No comment.
I mean, I already just said that normal was mine, yet it was your fave, so, I mean, it's fair. I
Well,
can
it's not.
take that bullet.
No,
It's
no,
weak
no.
to
It's like I didn't
poison,
say
steel.
I didn't say it's one of my faves, but I'm just saying I can understand normal types. But fairy
Oh,
types,
okay.
yeah, yeah. But like fairy types for me, it all just comes down to like nerfing dark types. The love
Mhm,
it
mhm.
got in Gen 6 compared to the love dark types got in Gen 2, and it's just very, very, very like you know, just why? Why
Mhm.
does Snubble and Gramble of all Pokemon need to be fairy types. They don't scream fairy.
Mm-hmm. They do give me like Snubble and Gramble give me a tad, or like Snubble in general. Snubble gives me a bit of trauma just because I don't remember which Pokemon movie it was that my friend showed me, and Snubble just meets an unfortunate end in it, and it's just big trauma.
Uh, yeah. Um. Yeah, just fairy types just got like sorry. Um yeah, that was
All good?
yeah, just the OBS reconnected, disconnected, and ended the stream. We're still live, but just like ended the one session. God, OBS, you are not my friend today.
It's okay. Scuff is enough. A lot of us start off that way anyways, especially like if you're in a new location. There's gonna be some bugs and kinks that you can work out.
Yeah, this will probably be this definitely be one of those episodes you'll probably have to rewatch on YouTube definitely. But I digress. Mm, uh, back back on back on topic for the show. Ah, all right. So what Pokemon game would you say is your least favorite or the one you don't want to play again?
Mm, I've said this before to like a lot of my chat and like friends. I'm kind of one of those problem people who, regardless of like what Pokemon gives, it is just going to like I'm just gonna find the goodness in it because I just have so much nostalgia for this franchise. So I don't have that many games that I would say, oh, I'm gonna touch this once and then not do it again. Mm, I would stop playing a game just because like I'm done with it and there's not anything else to do. But if I already forgot like anything that I've done in it, I wouldn't mind restarting. So like if I were to like pick any of the Pokemon games that I've played like since my start of my Pokemon journey, I don't have many that I would say, nope, not touching that again.
Hmm. You may be the first guest that says they have a Pokemon game that they don't generally dislike.
Hmm. I guess again, I have a like rose color tinted lens that I can easily find things that I like about things because of like I'm so jaded by the nostalgia, by the fact that it's Pokemon.
Mm-hmm.
So I really don't have anything like off the top of my head, or even if I think really hard about it, not really much that I would say nope, not gonna try again. I mean, the fact that I'm still playing through Ultra Sun and Moon, like just to get through the storyline, even though I fall asleep constantly, just button mashing A to get through dialogue, lets me go through it. Or like I'm willing to replay through like regular Sun and Moon again just to get some Pokemon that I need for Pokédexes and stuff. I'll grit my teeth and just go through with it just to be able to get through it, but like I said, I wouldn't say nope, not doing that again.
Uh, I uh,
Like
I
I
applaud
said,
I applaud that mindset. I applaud that mindset.
yeah, again, I am one of the problems that like if Pokemon just releases something and if it's something that I'll play, I will play it and be fine with it, even if it's quote unquote incomplete or laggy as heck.
Fair enough. I would definitely say for me personally, like PLZA needs to bring a lot to the table and fix things that X and Y should have fixed. But for me, I just think X and Y is just a very easy game. Too much the start of Pokemon hand holding, and like I said, the fact that fairy type Pokemon got so much love in the game it got introduced in compared to how dark types were treated in Gen 6. No wait, in Gen 2, it just really kind of ticked me off. plus on top of that, the champion probably could care less about being champion, to be really honest. I honestly think that Diantha is worse than Geeta, even though people say that Geeta's the worst champion. For me, it's Diantha. It's just, ugh. Just, ugh. Obviously I'm gonna play ZA. No, like no question. But I'm just saying, like, Gen 6 rubbed me the wrong way. This game better fix it.
Fair enough.
Okay, so all right, so let's dive back into the deepest memories of your mind, and what was like, what can you, jeez, from what you can remember, what was your very first experience with Pokemon?
I think it's been such a foggy memory, so I don't even know like if the very first Pokemon game I've played before was legit.
Okay.
um, I remember that my brother got not 3DS, sorry, a Game Boy Advanced, and he like at first he was established as like the gamer person in our family, and I don't remember the age that we got it either. And I know that we had like it was a I don't know if it was Pokemon Leaf Green that we got, but I have so many mixed people telling me that, oh, you can't get Leaf Green in America, I believe it was. So there's no way you would have gotten an English copy of it. So that's why I really don't remember or can recall that if the first game I had was an actual legit Pokemon game that or a bootleg copy of it in general. But that my brother and I took turns playing Leaf Green as kids, and then as like we grew older, our parents realized, oh, they both play this. So my parents got me a Nintendo DS. He still stayed on the Game Boy, but when we were kids, it kind of got stolen from us. So it gave us a good chance to get reintroduced into new games because we ended up getting a DS and a DS Lite, so we were able to get DS games and Game Boy games at the same time. So a lot of it just stemmed from now we have like opportunities to play different like newer Pokemon games on the DS and older Pokemon games from the Game Boy because now we have like the dual slots, which I do hope that one day in the future we get something like that again.
I don't think we're ever gonna get something like that again. Like Fever Dream, it will be, but I don't think we're gonna get something like that. I mean, we're already gonna get like we can play Switch games on Switch 2, but that's probably the closest thing we're ever gonna get to back to that kind of technological breakthrough. But yeah, it's definitely a thing we could definitely hope for. I mean, we do have like the Game Boy cartridge adapters you can put in your PC and you can play games like that. But I don't think we're gonna get. I don't know if we're gonna get like a console that lets us do that again.
I do want to experience being able to like play those games on PC as well. So I forget what they're called that you slot them in and it looks like a little stand. But I
Yeah,
remember my friends having those and I was like, ah, I really love to one day have those in the future
I know people that
when I
have
have
them, but I
desk space.
yeah, I know people that have them. I just don't remember what they're called.
Yeah, like I can picture it in my head, but I really for the life of me cannot remember what it is.
Mm-hmm. Yeah. For me, it came down. It was I was either 5 or 6, and I started watching the anime for the first time. I watched the anime for the first time on a 3 episode VHS tape. Yeah, I'm that old. all the young people in chat, but the 3 episodes were Pokemon Shipwreck, The Isle of the Giant Pokemon, and Tentacool and Tentacruel. So I watched those 3 episodes and I'm like, wow, I am mesmerized by this. This is so cool. And like I went back and watched the previous episodes, and I kept watching it every Saturday. It was just like, man, I'm really loving this series. It got to the point where like it evolved to go into looking at the card game and looking at the cards. I still to this day have no idea how to play the card game, but I still look at the cards anyway. I haven't opened up a pack of cards in a while, but that's just because the freaking expensive as hell right now.
Mhm.
Uh,
You know, I
but
I recently learned how to play the card games like maybe last year or so after Worlds since my brother got really into it and I mainly collect them for again pretty cardboard but
pretty
I learned how
cardboard.
to play yeah, I learned how to play so that we could um like do competitions and stuff like that and I've won a few of local competitions, but not like first place or anything. Like I've been in top like three or so before, and now I just get my battle fixes and card pack openings with TCG Pocket. Even though like it's the way the battle system is a tad bit different than actually being able to battle physically.
Congrats.
Thanks.
But yeah, I didn't actually pick up a game for the first time until I was about like six, like I was probably either 6 or 7, and I started playing Pokemon Sapphire, and I'm still to this day a Gen 3 baby. So finally played the games, and I'm like, man, this is like this that like I'm officially hooked. And it just snowballed from there. I'm just a big old nerd right now.
In general, video game wise, I'm the one who kept up with a lot of the video games. My brother is on and off again with them. So he usually plays just the card game nowadays, but slowly but surely he's been getting back to every other Pokemon game there is. So he is also pretty excited to see what ZA is going to have in store because he's more of like the battle type of person versus the shiny hunter than I am. And he's very intrigued with the ranking system that they're going to have and the return of Mega Pokemon. So he's very excited to see how Pokemon battling is going to be portrayed in this series.
Me too. All right, so the next portion of the episode is what I like to call the emote elaboration. So what you would do is post some of your Pokemon themed emotes in chat and give us a little bit of input as to why they're a thing or who made them. Just show us what you got.
I guess like off the top of my bat, off the top of bat, where is? Hold on. This one would definitely be one of my favorite Pokemon ones. Oh, can I not? Oh, I can't. So Chi-Yu is one of my favorite like ruinous Pokemon, and I remember talking about it like with my community because it's one of those Pokemon that can easily, if set up correctly with a bunch of people, um, like would do one shots for like 7-star raids, and it was just such a fun Pokemon to use, and it's going to hopefully have a really nice shiny that we can shiny hunt in the future. But um, there's like some people who had like emotes where they had like things that they like on the toilet, and I was like, well, it would be really funny to have a Chi-Yu on the toilet, so I made up the lore that this Chi-Yu is on the toilet because it's making sure that you don't flush any other goldfishes down the toilet. So it's pretty much just there to guard the toilet, and a lot of people ask me how does it not melt the toilet if it's made of molten lava, and I'm like it's Pokemon, you don't have to understand it. It's just let it happen, let it work. I don't
Exactly.
even know why it's like being able to protect any other goldfishes anyways, but I like the lore, so that's where it goes.
It's Pokemon logic. It doesn't have to make sense.
Mm-hmm. I think overall too, like I can see some of my friends posting some of my emotes. The Shaman emote is one of my favorites just because like I made that one. The Chiyu one was made by I believe it was Dazzling Gleam, but she doesn't make emotes at the moment anymore. Peak also is one of my favorites because like I said, I really love Hisui and Zoroa's colors, and it works as like either smug or just like okay, checking in, how you doing? And of course, I have just like my favorite emotes like Darkrai, and I have a lot of emotes of my dog in Pokemon costumes. So there are ones where he's in a few. So if I'm looking at them, so it's just basically my dog. His name is Kal-El. and he's
Aw.
just in several different types of Pokemon costumes that like have pretty common emotes that people use or like people have.
That's adorable.
Hmm.
I, for one, have a Darkrai emote myself, but it's a static one that's basically lurk, because you know Darkrai lurks in the shadows.
I'm pretty
Let's
sure I
see.
have a few Darkrai ones that are put. Oh, actually, I have this one. I have a few ones that might have been put away just because like emote slots are so hard to come by as an affiliate.
Yep. A Darkrai Uwu. I thought I'd never see the day.
Like I said, they're just really misunderstood babies to me.
I know. Most of my emotes are themed after dark types. Let's see. This one's one of my favorite ones. Pride Tomb.
Mm.
I'm a huge supporter of the LGBTQIA community, and that's for them. That's a favorite child of mine. Let's see. Let's see. I have this one, Lantern, themed after a sushi chef who I call Sushi because I love Lantern. Fell in love with it when I did an electric only Nuzlocke in Shield, and it was just really fun to use. A good chunk of my emotes are themed after Obstagoon because I am the Obstagoon guy. So you can imagine like how many Obstagoon themed emotes I do have. That's about the
I
lot of them
think
right there.
I think these ones also would be one of my favorites because I've always said that I'm very jealous of what's his name, Guzzlord's voice actor in the anime, because I'd love to just be able to go into a recording booth and just scream and get paid for that type of work. So it's just
Like
like such a fond memory being like, ah, yes, this is its Pokemon cry. Please give it your best go. So it like the fact that it has a male and female voice doing them. It's like, yep, I'd like to be the next female voice for this Guzzlord, please.
I can imagine myself going to a studio and just going like or like or like and just get paid to do that. Like, come on.
Mhm.
That'd be so cool. Uh, let's all right. Let's see what other emails I want to showcase. This one is fair for both of us because we'll show this in a minute. Reggie Drago was my very first on-screen shiny, so that's why it's my
Ooh,
lucky moat.
nice.
Uh, let's see. Oh yeah, I got this. I got this one. Homage to the sunglasses. Having a nice chill time. Okay. Is that all you want to share?
I think overall, I think if I had to do a few that I still have, I'm trying to make sure that the ones that I'm putting are the ones that are actually mine because I have a few free ones that got popped up. So, like I said, I still don't have my shiny Jumbo Jangmo and so I sometimes feel like it's in jail. So I have the jailed emote. One of my favorite, if I just remembered because I saw my own emotes, I really love shiny Entei since the Entei movie was one of my favorites growing up.
Mm-hmm.
So to me, Entei, like, it's really just Papa overall. And like I said, one of my husband's favorite Pokemon is Greninja, but so his favorite starter is Froakie. So I just have a cute little Froakie emote.
That's cool. All right. Next up in the show is the shared experiences category. So this is where those Twitch clips I asked for come into play. So I'm going to share 3 of Maria's Twitch clips. You're going to see 3 of mine, and we're going to showcase our what we got. All right, let's see. Change the screen really quick. Alright, change it to that so you can watch with me.
Yep.
Alright, forgive me, this is gonna look a little funky. Alright, so I gotta say, just by looking at the title and looking at the number, you lucky duck.
I know. I I really do think that I have my moments as a shiny hunter, and this is one of those moments that remind me that wow, I can get lucky.
Indeed.
A quick warning, a lot of my clips, I'm very bad at audio that I'm so bad at figuring out like limits to my audio, so they tend to be loud. So yeah, just make sure that my audio and my clips are just kind of lower.
Headphone users beware.
Yeah, always.
You also had a shiny Phantom on screen, so.
Oh, wait! There's no way! Chat, there's no way! Oh my gosh! Oh my gosh! Oh my gosh! Oh my god, there's actually just. Okay. Okay. Oh. What? What?
You just went for the Master Ball without even hesitation.
I'm not going to risk anything. I've already told you. I've had my fair share of fear of almost losing things, so I'm not even going to attempt anything. Oh yeah, one of my favorites. My one day in the future, I hope to be this voice actor for this Pokemon.
Yeah, like I didn't actually plan that, so you bringing that up was like, oh crap! I selected the Guzzlord clip, so it's like.
Preferably you. I hope so too as well, Pink. Alrighty. Good luck, everybody. I hope your Guzzlord shines. Cradily not shiny. Torkoal's not shiny. Hattering's not shiny.
It didn't help that one of the people in my chat and also really good friends who was doing the Dynamax adventures with me, they were reaching odds for Guzzlord and I had just started. So a lot of the times like when you hear me go, it's because I'm like, oops, I got it first. Sorry.
I had at least like half a dozen people find Solgaleo before I did.
Oh, sorry, I'm one of them right now.
Was that your
I
quickest?
got that thing really early.
Like, was that your quickest DA shiny ever, or?
No, I've gotten a DA shiny in one before.
What was it?
I don't have a clip of it because it's off stream, but it just so happened that I needed a Blacephalon for my living dex to get Pokeball Magerna. So I asked one of my friends to just host a Blacephalon raid for me, so I could just get the encounter, put it inside Pokemon Home, and I can just shiny hunt it another time. Because again, I had the Ultra Sun and Moon games, so I went and did the wormhole with them, and was very confused because I remembered that Blacephalon was a white-looking popsicle stick, and then I got a blue one, thinking so. I was like, wait, that has to be shiny then. So I have I'm really bad with Blacephalon, and it's what it looks like normally because I actually don't often see a normal Blacephalon. I've only ever really seen a shiny Blacephalon because I owned the shiny for the longest amount of time.
Fair enough.
So I forget what what it tends to look like. So to me, the normal is blue because it's the only thing I've ever really had, and it annoys my friend so much because he, again, another one that I didn't mean to get shiny really quickly, but it just happened to work out that way.
Well, I was looking through. I don't remember what path I was looking for, but I did some offline ones, and I found it, and I wound up finding Kartana, and I'm like, let's see how this goes. So literally the first DA, shiny Kartana. Why do people always find one encounter Ultra Beast? I don't understand.
I was gonna say, it seems like the Ultra Beast goes by quickly for a lot of people. Oh yeah, that one, just be careful.
We'll see.
When it's loud too, I'm just crying my heart out in there.
Tales about your lofty dreams. I listen breathlessly.
You like Has Been Hotel.
I do. I listen to a lot of their music.
Same here. Poison is my favorite soundtrack.
It's definitely one of my number ones for sure. I like that one and the song that he has in the not a teaser video with his friend Cherry Bomb.
Addicted.
Addicted is definitely one of my favorites too.
I'm addicted to the madness. All right, but anyway.
Imagining. Oh my gosh! Oh my gosh! It's finally here! Oh my gosh! Oh my gosh! I'm gonna cry! Oh my gosh! There's no way! It's actually. Oh my gosh!
A lot of my
Now-
friends really like that clip, and one of my really good friends who, like, whenever they think of this clip, the next parts that like I would go is like, oh, I know what Pokeball to use on here because this is one that I would use the Master Ball quickly for. Because like I said, I don't risk a lot of things, especially for my favorite, and it just worked out really well that the color of the Master Ball matches Darkrai's color. But I
Yep.
remember screaming, oh, this is gonna be, I'm gonna use the Master Ball because it's M for Maria's Darkrai. And that's all my friends reference nowadays for like this clip. Like they're just yelling, M for Maria's Darkrai. Like, yep, that one's mine.
I'm not sure if you know this, but I actually have the unofficial world record for the longest on-screen Darkrai hunt on BDSP.
I recall because I've heard so many people mention it before, being like, at least you're not going to reach the pokeNERDS number. And I was like, I don't know. I remember seeing before, like, I don't know if it was this stream or the stream before this one, where I would go, oh, I kind of feel numb to this hunt right now because I'm about to hit double over odds. So I'm thinking like, whenever I get it, will I actually like be excited? Because like it's such a hunt that I'm starting to feel like incredibly burnt out from. Because even though like it feels like it's a quick 7,027 and the odds are only 4,096, I was so tired of soft resetting over it because like one, BDSP has such a long animation screen to just get to the encounter, and then two, I just kept putting it off. So like the span of 3 years of me just trying to like go on and off again on the hunt, even though if I really wanted to, I could have just stayed on the hunt for as long as I could and then get it.
I know. That's how I was. That's why I started doing double hunting with Masuda, and that's what pretty much like not only did Darkrai like help me get more shinies overall, but it helped me find my craft and proclaim myself the Masuda King. So I can easily go over the amount of shinies that I've gotten and trying to get Darkrai. And I think I don't know if you know the number or not, but it's 20,118.
Oh, that's definitely a big one. But yeah, I think BSP is also one of the major reasons that I also started double hunting, just because I also was in the same boat. I was like, I am getting so tired of just watching the reset and try to load into the game overall. So that's when I started bringing up the 3DS games on my streams, and this one I just happened to be triple hunting just because I had my copy of Heart Gold to do some starter resets. Or I think I think it was either starter resets or starting looking for my next hunt afterwards. I don't recall, but I remember this one having triple hunts because I needed the stimulation just to keep my brain up.
Yeah, I feel you. I honestly wanted to include my Darkrai clip with my clips today, but I didn't want to feel like my Darkrai reaction overshadowed yours, so that's why I left it out. If you guys want to see that reaction, you can go to my YouTube or you can go to my front page of my Twitch and find the clip. Ugh. But let's see. Let's go look at my clips. But I did actually want to compare and contrast because I found like this is my Reggie Drago reaction, and this was back in the early days. Back when I was still the Poké Network, and I didn't even have sunglasses yet. So, this is, guys, if you guys have never seen this clip before, you guys are going to see how bad my camera was, how bad my first setup was. Just by audio quality and how you can hear like a clicking noise with my camera's autofocus. Like, just watch.
Oh my god! 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 I said I was gonna do this.
It's such a staple to just make like guttural noises.
Huh?
I think it's such a staple to make like guttural noises anytime like shiny hunters find anything, like any incomprehensible sound that you can get, like whatever just comes out because you don't know what words to use anymore.
I know. Oh god, every time I look back at this, I just cringe so much because just how bad oh god, how like this is why when you're starting up as a streamer, please don't cheap out on your equipment. Get a semi-decent mic, get a semi-decent camera. Don't cheap out, please. If you take any of my words to the heart, don't cheap out. Go all in.
But it makes such a nice progression growth. Cause like I'm in the same boat. Like everything that I did like at the very start, cause I had a secondhand PC and everything, I was a little bit better well off with like the equipment that I had, but clearly I didn't know what I was doing. So my mic was horrible. I didn't have a camera or a VTube model at the time either. So overall, in general, like you like the growth that you can see from your first stream to now is just like it's just like such a good feeling to look at, such a good milestone that you say that you can pass through.
Fair enough. And again, words of experience. Because when you start off with something small and you grow to something more, obviously there's going to be a difference in quality. But still, like, for me personally, it's just like, God. Like if there's like at least one thing I could have done for my first setup is just get a different camera. That's what I probably would have done. That camera was so bad. It literally autofocused every time I moved. Every time you twitched, it just autofocused. It just, oh god, it was so bad. Gage, exclamation point YouTube in the chat. So this is one of my various Masuda hunts, and I professionally claim myself as the Masuda King of Sword and Shield, but lately I've been the Masuda King just in general, because my Masuda odds are really good. This is one of the hunts where they was really bad, so my reaction is valid. Oh, yo, we got a raid in. Chimeri comes in with the raid. What's going on, buddy?
Hi, Chimeri.
Yo, Chimerian family, welcome into the podcast. We've been having tech issues all day, but we're still rocking. Thank you all so much for being here today. Welcome to the pokeNERDS Inc. podcast, where I interview various pokeNERDS on what makes them the pokeNERDS they are. Today we have mariaculous in the hot seat. Almost half the time, I keep almost wanting to say miraculous instead of mariaculous. It's like, oh god, be professional here. Don't screw up the name.
I mean, if it helps you, that's the intended way that I wanted people to use my name anyways. Miraculous versus mariaculous.
I just try to be as professional as I can be. But you guys came. What?
Overall, the miraculous is, like I said, is what I want people to use anyways. It's a lot easier to say, and it's a little less of a tongue twister. Anything else?
Fair enough. Well, you guys came in at a good moment because we're sharing our experiences with Pokemon and we're sharing some of our favorite clips. This is one of my longer Masuda hunts. Also, back when I had extremely long hair.
Yes! Shiny chicken! Yes! Finally! Finally! Shiny Torchic!
And this was about to hit double odds.
Yeah, it was about to hit double odds. It was so bad. Also, Kai, how was your stream? Did you get that Bulbasaur yet? All right. So, this is actually this one's actually a highlight, but I wanted to showcase this one. This was back when I was shiny hunting Kyurem, and if I had posted this to the socials correctly, I think it might have gotten some attention, but I didn't. This was the first time I ever got a double DA shiny.
Steam, I'm actually... If you still exist, Travis, just start talking. JK, buddy, come on. Alright, so no shiny. Whoa! Shiny Trevenant! Shiny Trevenant! Beast on, baby! Shiny Trevenant on screen! Yeah!
God, I look like a child without a beard.
No shiny. Wow! Yes! Double shiny! Kyurem! Let's go! Let's go! Beast on, baby! Yes! Double shiny! That's the first time I've ever gotten one! Yes! Yes! Yes, 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 yes! That's the first time I have ever gotten 2 shinies in one batch, and one of them is Kyurem! Beast on, baby!
If anybody's wondering why I keep saying that, it's a retake on Rock On Baby, but I put Beast in front of there because Beast used to be one of my nicknames. But yeah, obviously you know what shiny I took, but that was actually my longest on-screen DA hunt at 162.
That's pretty cool. I've only ever gotten 2, or like not 2, 1 instance of 2 shinies in one, and it happened to be in my copy of Sword that didn't have the shiny charm, so my odds were like the 1 in 300, so getting the 2 shinies was pretty cool in the same Dynamax adventure. I got a Vaporeon and Cresselia together. I have a bit of a clip of it, but like it's not when I got it. It's more of like I had it on a separate Switch, so I had to like swap the Switch into the screen for it. So that it was one of the reasons why I didn't shout. I was like, oh, it's because I literally had to like take off the Switch, put it back on, so the clip looks weird.
That's awesome. All right, so aside from that, obviously there's a lot of experiences you've had with Pokemon on screen or off that have been some really, you know, story catchers, or like I want to hear some of the coolest experiences you've ever had when it comes to Pokemon. I know you've been to Worlds and various other places, so if you got a story to tell us, let's hear it.
I think I only ever have 2. The one major introduction that I had to like outside event of Pokemon was I competed in the Toronto Regionals in around 2023, I believe it was. And it was like the biggest reason I went was because like I was mentioning at the start, that Pokemon introduced me to so many people and friends around the world that it was the very first time I was willing to go meet the people that I met online in person, albeit as well in a different country. So, and it was just so that I could compete as well in the VGC tournament for the regionals. And it just so happened that at that regionals, my very first game that I won, or like the very first battle that I did, I won. So it put me in like, the winning bracket, because the way that it works, you kind of you go against people who have like the same amount of wins or so as you. So because I had like my first win, um, lo and behold, they somehow put me in the bracket that had to challenge a national champion as my second competitor ever in the world. So I had to, with my limited amount of experience in these Pokemon competitions, I challenged James Beck as my second ever competitor as in my very first regionals. So that was cool. I didn't even know who James Beck was until I brought up the name to one of my friends, and I was like, "Oh, my next opponent is this person," and seeing their face, like their jaw drop, and like telling me, "Don't look up their name." I'm like, "Well, you gave it away. They're important." So I looked up their name. They're like a national champion from before. They've won national champions overall, and they're a Pokemon content creator who focuses on VGC. So I'm like, yep, I can see where this is going. So they were one of the reasons, like they were my friends were the one who told me about him, told me to like take pictures afterwards in the end. So it was, again, a really nice experience, also a really scary experience to think that my very second person to ever battle in an official regional tournament is a winning champion.
Wow. That is that's a little bit mind-boggling, to be brutally honest. Like that's
Mm-hmm.
like if you're like that's like if you're a noob to Pokemon, like if that's like if you're a noob to VGC and like you're going up against somebody you don't know and then you shake hands and all of a sudden Wolfie comes in front of you and you're like, oh shit.
In general, that's what it felt like. I went from first boss to last boss in a matter of seconds.
Yeah, it's like going up against the Fury Sisters and Hades, and then all of a sudden you're going after Hades. It's like, eh! uh, but what's that other story you wanted to note?
Mm, overall, Worlds also was just like one of like going to Worlds because it was in Honolulu. It, like I've told you before, I am a content creator based in Hawaii, so I was invited as a notable trainer to go since I was a local content creator, and it was such a surreal experience to be able to meet so many people while I was there. Like a lot of the people that I looked up to, a lot of people that recognize me in general too. Like I had a person who, because again, I use this VTuber model more often now, so not that many people like have seen me in person, but like the fact that someone recognized me by my voice was kind of mind-boggling to me. That they could just hear me and be like, "Oh my god, I know you from here." I was like, "Whoa, that's such a crazy experience to have, that you can get recognized not just by appearance wise, but this the sound of your voice as well." And I guess like it makes, for me personally, it makes a little bit sense because again, um my voice tends to be a little bit more high pitched, and you kind of can notice it. So I would like to imagine that it's a bit unique to me, but it was just, again, like that was like the very first time that I think like, wow, one, people kind of know who I am, and two, my voice is kind of something that I can appreciate because, of course, like everyone has that experience where, like, oh, they dislike the sound of their own voice, especially when you have to go through it in a recording. But it was one of those moments that made me realize that, yeah, I can appreciate things like my voice because it's kind of what makes me me.
Yeah, it's kind of like me with my sunglasses because everyone on stream sees me with these on and they're like, this is how I naturally look. So when people actually get the chance to see me without them, they're like, oh man, this is actually like Spence out of like out of his comfort zone, like out of his out of his groove. But to be fair, whenever I meet somebody, I don't have these on. I don't have sunglasses at all unless it's super sunny out and I need them. But whenever they see me without them, it's like, huh, you got brown eyes, cool. So it's like people get to see like the other side of me, if that makes any sense.
Mhm, mhm, mhm.
Yeah, maybe like if I ever get a new pair of prescription lenses, I think I may like get them where like my monitor glare isn't so bad, so people can actually see my eyes, so I can actually stream without these. But for now, it's these stay. Do you plan on going to Worlds this year?
Certain reasons I can't go that I would announce in the future why I can't go, but I do plan on co-streaming them, so I have works on those. I haven't fully announced all of it yet, but yeah,
Uh huh.
just can't unfortunately go this year. Hopefully plans for next, but am
Yeah,
definitely having hopes to co-stream for it this year.
me too. Uh, Yeah, like stories. I don't really have a lot of stories, to be really honest, because honestly, I haven't really done anything outside of Twitch when it comes to Pokemon. I will say that meeting the people that I've grown the closest to from Twitch is notable. Like my old group of friends that I had before all my mental health problems. I met them at the beginning, near the end of 2022, and it was a really good experience meeting them. Meeting my other friends for the last few months. It was actually a really cool experience. Just it was it's still to this day. It still just reminds me that my world is a lot larger than I think it is, and there's more people out there. And all it takes is a few small steps. You can go see these people IRL, and it's like it's I don't know. It's just a really good feeling, you know.
Mm. I don't get that many opportunities because, like I said, as a content creator based in Hawaii, I am surrounded by ocean. Not that many ways that I can go out and see all my friends, and it just so happens that majority of the friends I have made over the years on Twitch just happen to be living in Canada. So if I do want to visit them again in the future, it's going to take a good amount of time and money to visit, and
Yeah.
it's
Yeah.
hopes that at least in the future maybe they also come here. That
Yeah, if it helps you at all, most of my friends I've made are in the UK or in the Netherlands. So if I wanted to see them, I have to get a visa and I had to get a passport and go overseas. No, wait, actually, UK, Netherlands, and Canada. So yeah, still have to get a passport no matter what. All right, so lastly, I'd like to talk about any recent Pokemon news that we have seen over the last few weeks or whatnot. So, before we dive into talk about Legends ZA, we finally got the Nintendo 2 Direct, no, the Nintendo Switch 2 Direct. So, what are your thoughts on the Nintendo Switch 2 system?
Overall, I'm just excited to be getting a new console because, like I said earlier, that my Switch is on its last legs. I'm not the crazy type of interested in the updated specs and everything. I know, like, it's really good. I know it's amazing that so much stuff of it is updated, but I don't understand a lot of them. But my husband is the one who's super intrigued with all of these. He's the tech person. I'm
Uh
so
huh.
glad that I married my tech support, but overall, I have live-in tech support with me. I really don't understand a lot of it, but I know he says like it's great, so I trust his word. So me personally has no actual personal opinions. I'm just excited to be able to have a console that the fan is not screaming at me 24/7.
Well,
So,
let me run something by you because you said earlier you were a fan of the Shadows of Almia Ranger game, right?
mhm.
You noticed in the trailer that this is actually a fever idea that I developed during one of my recent streams. It said that the new Joy-Cons can act as mouses.
Mhm.
Just what if they finally make a brand new Ranger game where the Joy-Con is the mouse and we have to make circles on a table to, circle around the Pokemon to fill up that bar. They could do that. That's something that's feasible. What do you think?
I'm I'd be so excited because one of the clips I sent you was the shaman clip, and literally the entire time I was talking about what type of Joy-Con you could use as anything to use for loops of friendship. So I in that clip I said that, oh, in Let's Go we have a Pokeball shaped type of Joy-Con that literally is like you just act like you're throwing a Pokeball to capture? Why can't we just get a separate type of Joy-Con that could potentially work as a stylus that you can create loops of friendships with? So I've been on that train. I've been on that talk. I'm literally just waiting. It has to happen at some point.
Like, seriously, if Pokemon like ever listens to its people, which they should, they need to make a new Ranger game with this new like hardware mechanic of the Switch 2. I will pay my money out of my pocket to buy the game and the console if you make the game, please.
I know, like there are a lot of things that I normally just wait and a little bit cheap out for, because I mean, if I can wait and save a little bit here and there, I will. But definitely Rangers is one of those that I think I would jump at in a heartbeat if I have the capability to.
Me too. All right. So outside of that, we got more information about ZA. What are your thoughts on it as of right now, and what are you looking forward to the most when it comes to this game?
Overall, like I said, like this game for me that I'm excited to see are Pokemon that I'll be able to use to fill up my national shiny living dex with. But I'm very sorry.
Sorry, we got another raid. The Barian, the season 3 premiere guest. Welcome in, Raiders. Welcome to the pokeNERDS Inc. podcast. We interview Pokemon peeps just like me and you, and here we are today. Debarian was actually in the hot seat at one point, and now today mariaculous is here in the hot seat today, and we're just talking about Legend ZA right now. I didn't mean to interrupt. You're all good, brother. How was your stream? What were you up to? All right, so back on topic. ZA?
I lost train of thought, but overall, excited for things to shiny hunt. I'm hoping, a lot of my friends talk about this too, that one of the big reasons that Legends Arceus was such a fun game for us was the ability to like encounter things like alpha Pokemon. So I'm hoping that they're gonna keep something like size variations in this upcoming game series, because they've done it with Scarlet and Violet. You have like different size Pokemon, and I think that kind of just makes Pokemon more unique for you. Like your Pokemon could be this size, and even if it's a shiny, it's very different from another person's shiny. So I do hope that's something that is incorporated, but if not, at least a way to have like maybe a bigger size Pokemon if it's, let's say, like a boss, because like we had totem Pokemon in Ultra Sun and Moon and Sun and Moon. They are supposed to be a lot bigger than normal Pokemon. We had the I forgot what they're called in Legends Arceus, like the boss Pokemon. Like I don't think they're called Guardians or anything, but I know there's something specifically named, and I hope
Crap,
that if
what were
they
they
do
called?
have, yeah, I really can't on the top of my head think about it right now.
Nobles.
Nobles, yeah, okay. Also, at the same time, while I'm shiny hunting, while we're doing the podcast, I'm trying to look for my shiny Reshiram, and I kind of just pulled up a shiny Reshiram on my Ultra Sun copy, so that's fun. So overall, I'm really hoping that I do end up getting, or we, like overall us as a community, get something as similar, because size variation definitely became one of like the staple things that I love about Pokemon. So if I could get a alpha Pokemon that's huge, or maybe in just like a teensy Pokemon, because that's big parts of the way that I play nowadays, I think it would be pretty cool.
Well, I think they're gonna have like different size variation. Like you may be right. You may have a point on like the boss level Pokemon being bigger or like noticeable, but I feel like they might do the same like implications that we had like in Scarlet and Violet, where they gave us like let us know if it's like a bigger or smaller size maybe. But yeah, you may have a point. Like these wild zones may have like a higher level or bigger said Pokemon in them that we may need to catch or have the opportunity to catch at some point. Maybe I don't know. We'll see. Honestly, for me, I'm looking forward to the ZA Royale the most as of right now. I really like to see how fluid this new battle system is going to be, and I like how we can finally run up and surprise an enemy trainer and be like, oh crap! I was like, here, let me fight you. Flash cannon on the Gardevoir, and damn, and bam, Gardevoir goes down. It's like, hey, what'd you do that for? You've been doing it to me for 20 years.
I mean, I know that in like the current games, you'd have to actually encounter the trainer and like talk to them in order to initiate battle. But it is definitely nice to have things like sneak surprises attacks now, not just on Pokemon, because we could have done that in actual Pokemon for Scarlet Violet, Legends Arceus, but now you can surprise attack trainers. Oh, it's gonna be so good.
Yes, I'm looking forward to it so much. And also, which starter team are you on?
I think overall, like Totodile was my guess that I was saying that Totodile is probably one of the Pokemon that was going to be the starters. So I'm definitely on the Totodile hype. I know a lot of people are not the most fond of a Chikorita, but I wouldn't have mind picking Chikorita either. And I'm fond of Tepig because it's one of the Pokemon that I do have as like a teensy shiny. So I'm okay with either or, but because Totodile was a pick that I had as the I guess that I this is my guess that it's going to be one of the starters. I have a little more. I want to pick this because I got it right. Sorry, my husband stopped by.
That's fine.
That's my bug. Hello. Okay, okay.
We good?
Mm-hmm. Yeah. Once again,
Oh, dang.
lost my train of thought.
Yeah, congrats on that shiny Reshiram.
Thanks.
Dang.
That's what I was saying earlier. Like, oh, while we're doing this, because I like keeping myself busy, I just found the shiny Reshiram that I was hunting for last night.
Well, congratulations. Beast on, baby. But yeah, I'm on Team Totodile all the way. Totodile is my favorite Gen 2 starter, so I'm really looking forward to see what kind of Mega or possible Colossian form it gets. Like, actually, yeah. What do you think? Do you think the stars are gonna get Colossian forms or a Mega? What do you think?
I mean, it would be probably pretty cool to have both. Like, I don't see why not give it a Colossian form that can Mega Evolve. That's what keeps, like, that's what it's the opportunity is. Like, the reason why it Megas is because it's in Kalos. I think that would be a pretty cool idea. Because, of course, like, a lot of people already bring up the fact that, for example, Chikorita in the trailer uses the move either Dazzling Gleam or whatever fairy type move that it can use. So everyone has that speculation that, okay, it's going to be a fairy type. So it's going to have that dual typing that it didn't originally have. So either its Mega is going to be the fairy type, or its regional form is going to be the fairy type. So either or for me, I think works out just fine because it totally like works out lore wise. Because I'm such a big type of person for lore. I love following anything that makes like sense in my brain for puzzle piece wise. So overall, I'd be pretty ecstatic either way.
I honestly, me too. That's honestly my train of thought, to be brutally honest. All right, so last thing I like to talk about, or give the guests the chance to talk about, is any future goals or plans they have for about the remaining of the year as of this point. So, is there anything you want to do before the end of the year that you want to achieve in terms of Pokemon or creation wise, or just like a goal or something you have planned that you want to give us the inside scoop on? So, you have the floor. Let's hear it.
Oh, not that much since my year can always change like each time I plan something. So a lot of the things that I end up planning are a little bit last minute, like maybe a month or so. So I don't fully have anything extra that I'm going to plan for at the moment, other than the fact that maybe I want to, like I said, do that whole Nuzlocke for Nuzlocke. I keep saying Nuzlocke. That speed run for Let's Go Pikachu. So that's probably something that I'll have in the works in the future, but just don't know when I'll be able to implement it. But that's something that I definitely am hoping to look forward to have more time with.
Sure. Yeah, I honestly want to make more room for Nuzlocks. I have 3 runs I want to do before the end of the year, but I think I'm only gonna maybe do 1 or 2 as of this point. So I'm right now I'm just trying to finish up my shiny lock, and so I can move on to either my second attempt at a platinum randomizer or a soul link with one of my fellow Team Yell mates, Chaos 6. So we'll see how that goes. But yeah, I just want to keep doing what I'm doing, and hopefully I can just keep doing what I'm doing, because I've had things happen about where I can't stream because of either my mind going to nowhere's land, or possibly having to do a last minute move because my power goes out. So I'm just want to keep doing what I'm doing, and be the best guy I can be, I guess.
We make do with the cards we've been dealt, so it works out.
Truer words have never been spoken. All right, so Maria, I want to thank you again for taking the time out of your day to come by and let us know what makes you the pokeNerd that you are, and also being a part of pokeNERDS Inc.
Thank you so much for having me. It was a great time.
Yeah, it was a great time. Despite all the tech issues, I really appreciate all the kind words, and also the being and the respectfulness. I do appreciate it.
Of course, it's already a stressful time enough for you, so I can't imagine how much things are running through your mind trying to get everything to work. So, whatever makes it easy.
Yeah. I tip my hat to you. All right, so last thing I need from you is a raid target. The rule is the guest chooses the raid. So where are we going? Doesn't matter what they're playing, as long as you want to raid them, we'll raid them.
Let me see whose friends I have on. One of my stream teammates is currently doing a Piplup hunt, it looks like. So True Inferno is someone that is a really good friend of the community, especially he's one of the reasons why that I even considered going to Worlds last year. So really good friend, really good stream teammate, and I think a lot of their vibes is great.
Yep, I'm actually following them, so I see them.
Yay!
Just to clarify, it's True_Inferno, right?
Correct.
Okay, True Inferno it is. Okay, members of chat, if you are subscribed to my channel, the Poke Network, you can copy and paste this raid message. If you are not subscribed to my channel, you can copy and paste this raid message, the one with the Pikachus. All right, I'll give you all a moment to copy and paste those, and we'll get ready to go right into the True Inferno. So, do you have a normal outro that you normally say before you kick off stream?
Not too much. I just rambled until the timer goes off.
Ramble until the timer goes off.
It's more of, I do hope that everyone has a good rest of their day, night, morning, or evenings, and can't wait to see you all in the next one.
Yeah, I want to thank you all again for choosing the back alley as a place to hang out today. Stay safe, stay strong. I'll see you all in the next one. Take care, you nerds. But for every podcast in honor of the True Turbo, actually I forgot my bow tie today, so this will be my first podcast without my bow tie. Yeah. In honor of the True Turbo, I like to remind you guys to stay safe, stay rockin', stay true to yourself. I'll see you guys in a few weeks with another episode of pokeNERDS Inc. But until then, from all of us here at pokeNERDS Inc., we thank you all for tuning in. Until next time, bye-bye!
Bye-bye!